Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town & Country, we are proud to be an American.
We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
Welcome to Trojan Detail.
Hey, I've been hunting. I got my truck filtered. Can you get it?
We surely can. We do work for Bill Jackson Chevrolet and Troy Nissan.
You do work for Bill Jackson Chevrolet?
Yes, we do.
Hey, I got a motorcycle.
We do them as well.
Tori Dunn from Dixie Trails. You get your truck washed here?
I sure do.
Billy Johnson. I know you're not bringing them cow trucks, okay?
I do. They're like me when I leave.
Loretta, what are you doing?
I'm here at Trojan Detail getting my car detailed.
Bring your vehicle to Trojan Detail. We do it all.
Napa Know-How. Here's some Napa know-how for you. Your local Napa Auto Parts store in Troy is under new ownership with an all-new fully stocked store. Big deal, you say? Big deal, we say. Like the ownership, the store has a new look, too. We're still delivering the same Napa quality and know-how, but we've increased our inventory and are committed to helping you find the parts you need when you need them. So come check us out. We've got the right part at the right price at the right time.
Know-how, Napa know-how. At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
All right. Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. That's Laura, Alabama, to all you folks getting up early this morning and going out, cranking up the tractor and getting all that farming done and all that great cotton and those tomatoes are starting to ripen and man, it's summertime in Pike County, Alabama. Of course, you folks watching us on Facebook. We're located 40 miles south of Montgomery on Highway 231, and 40 miles or 45 miles, I would say, north of Dothan on Highway 231. So we're right there in the middle of 231 when it goes to Montgomery and Dothan and back. And of course, a fast-growing progressive community, Troy, Alabama. Rex Lumber updated their construction yesterday. They are moving right along with one of the largest sawmills you'll ever see anywhere. And right now, they expect to employ 110 people right off the bat, and their investment in Pike County will be over $100 million. So that'll let you know a little bit about what it's going to do for our economy. And of course, we appreciate the folks at Rex Lumber and for making the decision to come to Troy, Alabama to expand their industry. And of course, they've been around for a while. Some other things about them, there's when you look at their development and what it's going to do for the county, they expect that all of that that's happened so far, over $100 million investment, they expect to invest even more. And one of the great things about Rex Lumber, not only is it going to be a very, very progressive industry in Pike County, but it's going to not only enhance their production and so forth, but it's going to provide a little income for people that own land in Pike County, that will be used by this sawmill. So folks that have timberland, hardwood land, they'll be there. There's a chance for quite a bit of profit there for people that own timber because of the production and the large production of this huge sawmill. So folks, I'm sure with property in Pike County and timber property especially can be excited about the possible income coming deriving from this industry coming to Troy. Shady Grove Tactical, the young man who was on our show earlier this week, Jacob Fannin, he was over at Charles Henderson High School, and he donated a piece of equipment to the Charles Henderson High School principal, and in observance of National CPR Awareness Week, and he did a great job on our show, and it's a lot to be known and a lot to be learned by how to save a life, if you need to save a life. And of course, when you're in a school situation or church situation or your industry or your business, I'm sure this would be something that Jacob Fanning could help you with to make you aware and your employees aware of the ways to save a life, not only through CPR, but also showing and you're learning how you can stop bleeding. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hi, what's
up? Where you calling from, sir?
The Vestavia Hills Mountain Brook line.
Okay, and of course that's in on the south side of Birmingham.
Overton Road.
Yeah, south side of Birmingham. Is that right?
I live near the Liberty Park Statue of Liberty sign.
Yeah, I got you. Of course, what's going on in the sports world?
Oh man, there's nothing going on anymore. That's what's so sad. I mean, you got college baseball starting up this weekend. Washington was the Nationals?
Yeah.
No, the Washington Nationals. Washington Capitals won the Stanley Cup last night over Las Vegas, which is hard to believe. Las Vegas, first time ever.
Yeah.
Having a hockey team almost won the Stanley Cup. Which
exactly.
Is incredible.
That is, no question. You know something that, now, are you telling me that basketball is over now?
Well, there's one game left. It's technically over.
Well, it's not over until it's over.
There's no coming back.
You don't think so?
No, not when you're down 3-0 to Golden State.
Yeah. I hope everybody out there is doing well this morning. 90-degree temperatures are expected. So it's going to be a warm weekend and a good weekend to get out.
Brutal day to day.
Get out and go swimming.
I believe.
I think everybody needs to have the swimming pools ready now. And of course, City of Troy, for you folks that do not have access to a swimming pool, well, they've got one at a wonderful swimming facility at the Troy Rec Department, located just off of they have a highway right here in Troy, and of course they have a indoor and outdoor pool, and they've got also a what you call it, Mike, when you run under the water? It's called a
run under the water? Well, they got an indoor treadmill in the water.
What now?
They have a treadmill in the water? I've never heard of it.
No, it's not a treadmill. It's not a treadmill. What is it, Steve? Yeah, splash pad.
Okay.
For kids, and it's very popular, and a lot
of
the
little things where they have the little waters.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
from like the concrete.
In fact, your kids would like it. Your little kids would like it.
Yeah, they have that at the Birmingham Zoo in Birmingham, where they have the little water, little spouts popping up throughout the little.
I've got to go to the zoo one day. I like the zoo.
Yeah,
Does Birmingham have a good? Does Birmingham have a nice zoo?
That's the nicest in Alabama by far.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, people donated millions and millions of dollars to it.
Yeah. Well, you know, Montgomery
has. The Sea Lion show is really incredible too.
What now?
The Sea Lion show.
Oh yeah, I like to see that.
Where it does all kinds of little tricks and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun to go to, and then they have giraffes you can feed. They have all kinds of different things going on throughout the summer months. They have different little restaurants out there. It's got a carousel, got a train ride.
Montgomery has a nice zoo. Did you know that? They've got a nice zoo.
Troy?
Montgomery.
Oh, yeah. I used to go there when I was a kid.
Now, Troy's got a zoo. You know that, don't you?
Oh, yeah. McClendon Critters?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I haven't been out there, but I know they had some.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And he's got a lot. He's got tigers, and, he's located on the other side of Banks, Alabama. And so is
that still open though? Do we know?
Oh yeah, it's still open. I'm almost positive it's still open.
Is the zip line place still located outside of Troy? Is that
oh yeah, it's zip line is going full speed. Troy has a real good zip line program. Ron Pierce, located not far from where we sit right here. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, zip line's real popular.
Well, let me tell you, orientation starts at Troy University next week, starting on Monday, and that all of the incoming freshmen have to go through an orientation, and they have about 6 or 8 different sessions. So the first session starts on Monday, and one of the things they do with those freshmen, they put them in buses and they take them out to Ron Pierce's place.
So he's basically got a relationship with Troy University.
Oh yeah, and it's really those kids really enjoy it. You know, a lot of them first time they've ever been on a zip line, and he's got a beautiful place out there, and the zip line is real popular, and that's the university needs needs to do to take them somewhere, or and let them do some things, and. They've been doing that several years.
They need to buy a bunch of kayaks and canoes and rowboats and buy Crow Lake. It's a 45-acre lake, literally almost next to campus.
Yeah.
What you ought to do.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Going another 10 miles out of Ron Pierce's place, you can just go 1 mile.
Yeah, well, it's not that far to Ron Pierce's place. It's from Crow Lake, Ron Pierce's place is probably 2 miles, maybe 3.
So anybody from Troy University wanting to purchase that, go ahead.
Yeah, Michael, let's get off of that. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, a lot going on this weekend as far as folks coming off vacation. Beach week is over with as of this weekend.
These poor kids are already having to practice football. I mean, golly, you talking about a commitment?
I know it.
You're a high school kid playing high school football. You've got to really love it, man.
I
tell you what, I was out at Leeds yesterday watching them practice.
Yeah.
Then I went to Minor and watched them practice.
And was the whole team out there?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
All the kids. Oh, no.
Oh, gosh, Mike. Gosh, you got problems.
my little one fell on the cat. I was scared she was going to get mauled.
Oh, okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Gaines is calling from his home in Birmingham.
I got 2 little baby girls that are just waking up in the morning, and sometimes they fall, and it scares you.
Yeah, I know it. But of course, you make sure you go to take care of them first, yeah. Of course, Mike. A lot of Troy's had a camp yesterday. They had a camp last week, and they are moving along pretty quick too. Troy University.
Troy's got the biggest opening game they've had since Mississippi State. I guess Mississippi State definitely was a bigger opening than Boise, but anytime you have an SEC team, it's going to be bigger than Boise. But Boise will actually be maybe the first ranked team, I'd say, to come in and play Troy since Missouri.
Yeah.
On Thursday night, of course, that was the ESPN game, and of course, Troy won the game 24-14 after getting down 14-0. But I mean, it's going to be a huge test. I mean, Sawyer Smith or Caleb Barker, you got to figure out who's the quarterback going to be, and then who's going to step up and running back. You know, is it going to be Jamarius Henderson? Is it going to be B.J. Smith out of St. Belmore? I know they got a kid, the Fry kid at Pensacola. Will he be back? I know the kid they signed out of Tunica, the big junior college player. You know, it looks like he's done. He's not even going to play this season. Did he blow out his knee?
Oh, really? You don't think he'll play? I was there when he got hurt, and so is that the case? Have you heard that?
Well, I mean, I thought that's what you said a while back.
No, I don't. I haven't said that. You know, they expect him back, I think.
But then, you know, you got a really experienced offensive line coming back. Offensive line should be good. Defensive line should be good. You lost some really good, you know, players at linebacker. It's going to be interesting to see what Troy does in that first game against Boise. Boise's already a 9-point favorite in Vegas, so nobody's really believing in Troy.
Whoa, that's right. Yeah, I like that. I like it. Of course, American Legion baseball is moving right along. Post 70, 17 and under baseball kept their winning ways undefeated 14-7 win over Wiregrass Cardinals Red in Dothan. The win for Post 70 improved their record at 5-0. Post 70 finished with 13 hits, and in the win, Cody Hollis from Pike Liberal Arts, fresh off of a strong performance in the Terry Jenwright tournament. Terry Jenwright's got a tournament, Mike. Led the team by going 3 for 4 and 2 RBIs. Jackson Seaman finished 2 and 3 with 2 RBIs, and Cole McWhorter, Mike, we can hear those kids real loud in here. 2 for 5 with 1 RBI. Jade Sykes, DJ Law, Drew Nelson, Brady James, Dustin Jones, and Grayson Davis all had 1 hit. 6 guys. Mike, too much noise coming from there. Want to say 6 guys threw off the mound for Post 70. Logan Ross pitched, Clay Barron pitched, Davis pitched, Nelson pitched, and boy, they played everybody. And of course, now the Post 70 will be back in action when they host the Mark Smart baseball tournament beginning on Friday. So that starts today. Mark Smart's got a tournament. Of course, baseball is going full force this summer as we open the Troy paper today and read an article about a young man who grew up right here in Troy, Alabama, and played baseball at Pike Liberal Arts. And we're talking about Chandler Avant being drafted in the 10th round by the Mets and New York Mets. So a good picture of Chandler and a good article by Mike Hensley today in Troy's paper. And, of course, good-looking look at an outstanding player, Chandler Avant. Mike, you watched Chandler Avant play. What's your opinion of him? Might have lost Mike Amos. Might have lost him. He was having to get his kids ready to go to school this morning. Of course, Avant had a great career at Alabama. In fact, in his career at Alabama, he collected 230 hits and 100 RBIs. He scored a total of 128 runs, and he ranked 8th all-time in doubles with 53 during his 4 seasons. Avant finished his senior season with Pike Liberal Arts Patriots with a .505 batting average with 10 home runs and 36 RBIs. Avant credits his success to all of his coaches, including former Patriot head coach Butch Austin. He was a great influence on me, Avant said. He helped me in so many ways with my game and in so many ways becoming a man. So very good article and very nice tribute, not only to Chandler Avant, but also to the guys that coached him. And, of course, I know everybody's proud to see a local guy be drafted and have an opportunity to play maybe one day in the big leagues. So that's a very good honor for Chandler. He will go down as one of the great players to play at the University of Alabama. Of course, a soccer camp's going on in Troy, and Troy Recreation Department and Troy University soccer team sort of combined to put together a camp at the Troy University soccer field. And soccer is such a big game now, and it's a lot more and more kids are getting involved. To my knowledge, I don't think there's unless I think there might be one at Goshen, but to my knowledge, there's not a girls soccer program at any of the local high schools. Now, there's a boys soccer team at Charles Henderson High School, but soccer is a big sport. Of course, it's a big sport with the Troy Recreation Department, and they get involved in it. But soccer is becoming such a big sport. You would think that some of these local schools would start girls soccer. And a friend of mine moved here not long ago, and he had to take his girls to Montgomery to play, and they play with a club team up there, and they're just 10 years old. And boy, he said you would not believe the numbers of kids that are involved with soccer in the Montgomery area and Birmingham area. My little 4-year-old granddaughter is on a soccer team. She doesn't know much about what's going on yet, but she does know that you can kick it in the net and get a point, so she's excited about that. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Well, we'll stay right here for a second.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town & Country, we are proud to be an American.
We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
Welcome to Trojan Detail.
Hey, I've been hunting. I got my truck filtered. Can you get it?
We surely can. We do work for Bill Jackson Chevrolet and Troy Nissan.
You do work for Bill Jackson Chevrolet?
Yes, we do.
Hey, I got a motorcycle.
We do them as well.
Tori Dunn from Dixie Trails. You get your truck washed here?
I sure did.
Billy Johnson. I know you're not bringing them cow trucks, okay?
I do, and they're like me when I leave.
Loretta, what are you doing?
I'm here at Trojan Detail getting my car detailed.
Bring your vehicle to Trojan Detail. We do it all.
Napa know-how. Here's some Napa know-how for you. Your local Napa Auto Parts store in Troy is under new ownership with an all-new fully stocked store. Big deal, you say? Big deal, we say. Like the ownership, the store has a new look, too. We're still delivering the same Napa quality and know-how, but we've increased our inventory and are committed to helping you find the parts you need when you need them. So come check us out. We've got the right part at the right price at the right time. Know-how. Napa know-how.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by First Citizens Bank of Luverne. I want to say good morning to William Petrie and the president, and of course Steve Sanders, my good friend, and Charlie Sankey, and all the great folks at that beautiful bank. Located just off Main Street in downtown Luverne. I want to mention the Huddle House. I promise you, they've got every omelet you can think of, and I've become more conscious of omelets and where the best omelets are in town, and I'll put their omelets up against anybody. They're delicious, and they can make you all kinds of omelets. I want to mention also our good friends downtown at Bird Drugs, and of course they're open at 7 o'clock every weekday morning, including Saturday mornings. And of course it's always a hot breakfast and delicious sandwiches and great ice cream. You'll find that Bird Drugs is just a great place to eat. And of course their hamburgers and their milkshakes are just like they used to be when I was growing up. When I was growing up in Troy, you could go, after you get out of school. This will give you a little indication of how many drugstores there were. The first drugstore you would see is located where Cinco is today. It was called Bird Waters, or then later on it was called, they changed the name to Cinco's. But that was one drugstore. Right down the street at Edge Hospital, they had a pharmacy and a drugstore. All right, right down or right across the street from Old Beard Hospital, that's where I was born, was the Apothecary, was a drugstore. So let's say that's 1, 2, 3 right there in that general area. Then you walk up the street from Bird Waters, where you had McLeod Drugstore, and they had a soda fountain. So did Bird Waters. And right down the street on North 3-Night Street, you had Green's Drugs, and they had a soda fountain. And of course, some of the folks that worked there, Bobby Davis and Merle Barron, and of course Gam Green owned that drugstore. So, all right, right there, there's 4 drugstores within shouting distance of each other. All right, and then I mentioned McLeod, so you've got Cinco's, McLeod's, Green's Drugs, the drugstore at Edge Hospital, and the Apothecary at Beard Hospital. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drugstores right there, counting McLeod's, which had a real nice soda fountain, and they served hamburgers and hot dogs and so forth. Then right up the street, just within rock's throwing distance, there was City Drugstore. Then there was, of course, Bird Drugstore. So right there in downtown Troy, and I could have missed one in between, but there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 drugstores. I promise you, less than the furthest was no further than maybe a quarter of a mile apart, or maybe a half a mile at the most. But 8 drugstores in Troy, Alabama, right there, just in that general vicinity. So that'll tell you something about it. And then, of course, there might have been one more drugstore on the square, but I can't remember right off. But City Drugs, McLeod's, Bird Drugs, Cinco's, Bird Waters at the time, and then Green's Drugs. All of those folks had soda fountains that made ice cream and milkshakes and all that right in downtown Troy. So that'll give you a little idea. In a minute, I'll give you I'll give it to you right now. Barbershops. You had Size Barbershop on North 3-Night Street. Griffin's Barbershop was right there. You had Bird's Barbershop was right there. City's Barbershop was right there. That's 4 right there next to each other on the square. And then over on South Brundage Street there was another, but there was something like 6 or 7 barbershops in downtown Troy at the time. So and then so at one time downtown Troy was real busy with drugstores and barbershops, and of course beauty parlors. I'm not going to get into that, but there were beauty parlors. Troy had a big clothing store, Rosenberg's, which was really a unique, very nice clothing store. Then right across from it, you had Thrifty stores, and that was a big clothing store at the time. And then, of course, Earl Ellis later on brought a women's clothing store to Troy. And, of course, there was Leon's, a chain store that was a nice women's store. And I probably can't go much further than that, but there were several stores that I can remember so well. And, of course, dime stores. You had and jewelry stores. There were quite a few of those. You had Mr. Baker had a jewelry store, and of course Douglas Brothers Jewelry Store still remains open. I think they're the second oldest business in Pike County. I think the oldest business is the Messenger, the Troy Messenger, but the Douglas Brothers Jewelry is well over 100 years old. I think it was in the early 1870s when they started their drugstore, which still is open for business in downtown Troy. Of course, I want to mention clothing stores. Bearfields in Ozark is one of the very few local clothing stores that are independently owned stores, for clothing, and you just don't see a lot of them. We've got a few in Troy, especially women's clothing, but as far as men's clothing, there's not many men's stores out there. You've got Western Wear out there on the bypass. That's another clothing store for boys and girls and men and women. And they, of course, still Don Walker's Western Wear. And then, of course, not far up the road, you've got Sykes and Kahn, which they have dominated the clothing business for a long time in Pine Level, Alabama. But Don Walker's Western Wear is also a very good store. And then, of course, you've got your major stores like Walmart, which has sort of dominated the clothing industry in our part of the country. And of course Walmart has provided people with a variety of shopping, but at the same time I think a lot of people like to support their local stores too, and so when people say shop Troy, they mean it. It means a lot for you to buy your merchandise, your gifts and your clothing, and as much as you can from our local store owners right here in Troy. Okay, we've got P.S. Falk Furniture located in Enterprise, Alabama. If you've never been there, I recommend it. It's on the bypass, and of course Andy Falks was born and raised in Troy and has a great selection of furniture. He goes all over the world and brings it and has it shipped back to Troy, to Enterprise, and it is a very nice store, of course, furniture and accessories, and they do a wonderful job. I want to mention Noble Manor for assisted living. No better place than Noble Manor today. And of course Jimmy and Dale law, good friends of mine, been in that business a long time, have a great reputation for assisted living, and we appreciate them very much. Express Oil Change on the bypass, not only do they change your oil, they now have a full service garage there that can do all kinds of work on your automobile. They've done a lot for me, I know that. And they also do have a front end alignment system there that is outstanding, and they do all kinds of brake work and tires. They sell tires, and so they really have added to their business, and of course, things are going very good. A1 Services, Terry Moats, my good friend. And, of course, if you're looking for someone that can work on your air conditioning and during the summer and your heating during the fall, I promise you, A1 Services place to go. I want to mention Jim Skinner Honda in Dothan. My good friend Garnet Rigsby has a great selection of Honda cars and trucks available just off the circle, or actually on the circle in Dothan. Town and Country Flooring, not only will they cover your floors like nobody else, but they're now carrying one of the best selections of grills, outdoor grills and outdoor furniture. I promise you, if you're looking for that today and you want what is equivalent to the green egg, not just equivalent, it is American made and designed, and their grills are top of the line today at Town and Country Flooring, and we appreciate them. They're located on North 39th Street right here in Troy. Troy Regional Medical Center, and of course I want to say hello to Karen and all the great folks there, and we're so proud to have a hospital that is improving every day. And of course they've been around a long time, and Troy is very fortunate to have a hospital where we can when needed we can have good doctors and good hospital facilities for our town. And of course a town of 20,000 people, I promise you, you look at our hospital compared to so many others, and we're really a very, very good hospital for the size of our community, and we appreciate it very much. Piggly Wiggly, located on North 39th Street in Troy, and also in the Marketplace Shopping Center. Piggly Wiggly, I buy my steaks from there. I have them to cut me steaks quite often, and of course they have a great meat department. Their produce department is outstanding. In fact, they're starting to bring in those delicious, wonderful shelled peas. They have their own sheller. Now I think you can bring your peas in and they'll shell them for you for a price, but why shell yours when you can buy theirs already shelled? So it is a great place for fresh produce, and we're excited about it. All-Star Collision Center, located on the bypass. I was there yesterday, and boy, they do a great job. They fixed a little problem I had where I had my vehicle broken into in Atlanta, and they fixed it back just like new. And Collision Auto is located right in between Pike County Ford and Dodge Chrysler Jeep, and All-Star Collision really does a first-class job in making your vehicle look like new again, and appreciate them so much getting to my vehicle and doing a great job. The Messenger, don't live in Troy without the Messenger. Now, everybody says, well, look how small it is. Look how small it is. Well, let me just say this: it's one of the oldest daily newspapers in the state of Alabama. A lot of towns now, especially Birmingham, I think they have 3 papers a week. I think Mobile has gone to three papers a week. Montgomery's still daily, but Troy Messenger was established in 1868 and has been providing news for our community ever since. And again, it's a great place to not only keep up with what's going on in our community, but it's also a good place to advertise, and of course they do a great job of that. Troy University had 3 players to be drafted. C.J. Carter Jr. was the 3rd and final Trojan to be selected in the 2018 Major League draft. First year as he went in the 29th round to the Miami Marlins. Well, let me just say this. He's a native of Lithonia, Georgia. I met his father in Athens the other day at the tournament. Great guy, great family. But he is has another year at Troy, and a lot of times if a player is not offered the kind of money that he wants, he'll come back and play another year of college, and hopefully that's what he'll do. He was the 867th pick, and I don't know what kind of money they pay a guy like that. A lot of this will whether or not he'll get paid enough money to go ahead and make the move. But being the 867th pick, most cases, he could possibly come back. He said after he was drafted, he said his unique arm angles are tough on hitters, and he competes exceptionally well. He can throw almost every day, which is valuable in professional baseball. He throws submarine pitches, and that is very important. And of course, we're happy for him, and we want him to have the opportunity. But if things are not exactly the way he wants it, he could come back and play another year at Troy. He ranked 5th in the league with a .21 opposing batting average. So batters batted 200 against him. His 8 wins were tied for 3rd, and his 55 hits allowed were the 4th fewest by a qualifying pitcher in the conference. So again, we are proud of C.J. Carter. Of course, he joins Lothridge, Brandon Lothridge, and Matt Sanders. Lothridge went in the 5th round with the Yankees, and Matt Sanders went in the 10th round to the Mariners. Still have not heard about. I know now that Joey Dennison was not drafted, and I cannot understand why, but I think he'll get an opportunity to play. Anybody that bats right at 400 and knocks in over 80 runs, man, if you don't get anybody to a camp, something's wrong with somebody out there. Somebody told me his age was a problem, that he was, I think he's 23 years old. Well, I was 23 when I graduated from college. I felt sort of young, and I'm sure Joey feels sort of young, but looking at a Major League Baseball player, they start them as early as 18 years old. So, but I'm still thinking that Joey, who just is probably the best hitter in college baseball, has not been drafted, and hopefully some things will happen for him, because not only is he a great baseball player, he's a great young man, and we just wish him the best. We're going to take another break. We'll be right back.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
Come see us at Don Walker Western Wear. From boots, jeans, and jackets to shirts, hats, and belts. We're your headquarters for Western wear for the entire family. With the largest selection of jeans in town, we carry famous brands like Wrangler, Levi, Carhartt, Ariat, and Cinch. We've also got plenty of styles of boots to choose from, including Justin, Lucchese, Ariat, Tony Lama, Red Wing, Dan Post, and Corral. So come on into Don Walker Western Wear, located on Highway 231 in Troy.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
At Pike County Ford, we're starting 2018 with our grand reopening celebration. And it's your chance to save big on America's favorite brands, including $14,000 on new F-150s or the new Fiesta for under $13,000. I'm Jeremy, the new owner, and this is how serious we are about earning your business. If you bring a deal to us we can't beat, we'll pay you $5,000. The new Pike County Ford. Come by our grand reopening celebration today and find out why. Pike County is Ford country.
Back to our show, and I've got a little information to pass on to you. First of all, I want to mention that SARA, the Southeast Alabama Rural Health Association, has hired another doctor. The SARA and Dr. Jerry C. Roy, MD, are pleased to announce the association of Robert Allen Wade, a CPNP with SARA. He is will be in the pediatrics department. Allen is attended the University of Alabama, where he received his bachelor's degree in nursing in 2001. He then received his master's degree from the University of Alabama, Birmingham, and Allen specialized in pediatrics with 20 years of experience in the emergency department of Children's Health System in Birmingham, Alabama. So he comes with a lot of experience in pediatrics. He also worked in pediatrics emergency department at both the Emergency Medical Associates at Tampa and St. Joseph Hospital in Tampa, Florida. And of course, he's got a lot of credentials. It's evident that Allen has a passion for children. He is excited to be a part of the pediatrics department at SARA. So if you'd like to call and set up an appointment with him, call him at 566-8822. And 566-8822. All right, a couple of things. Rumors. You know, Rumors on the square in downtown Troy is a great place to eat. Has a wonderful selection of what I like is so many different things to eat. I love their spaghetti, but my wife loves their chicken salad. What I'm saying, I like the variety. They have wonderful sandwiches. They have wonderful chicken. They have all kinds of sandwiches and the ice cream treats. They just got a well-rounded selection and of foods, and their chicken dishes are outstanding. You'll find it that the food is delicious, and they're open for lunch and dinner today at Rumors. Well, there's a rumor going on that Jack's Hamburgers is coming to Troy, and sure enough, I found out recently that Jack's Hamburgers has purchased some property on the bypass. So those of you that like Jack's Hamburgers and their products, and they are very good, Jack's Hamburgers come to Troy. Now, that rumor that was going around about back in the zone, Trojan Zone is coming to historic downtown Troy, and boy, am I excited. And hey, Lyle Wise is doing backward flips. Let me tell you, this food at the Zone is outstanding, and they're coming back. The Zone is coming back to historic downtown Troy building. They're going to open up where Troy Made Bakery was there for 40 years. You know, it had a sign up there that said fresher by at least 50 miles, the corner of Elm and Market Streets. And my good friend Tim Faison and his wife are bringing this restaurant back to Troy, Alabama, and we're excited about it. And I'm going to read you a little bit about it. Tim Faison is the owner of Troy Made, of this historic building now in downtown Troy. Of course, the Trojan Zone was located on the bypass in Troy until a year or so ago, where they had to move out because that property had been sold. And now, though, they are coming back in the business. Of course, Tim, a local guy, born and raised in Troy, played on some of Don Maester's best teams at Troy University. In fact, he was on the team that scored 258 points, which is a record that probably will never be broken by anybody. But let me read this to you. Give you a little idea. Of course, a good article in the paper today, written by you know who, and it goes like this: Trojan Zone was unique. We could host a different variety of people, college students and locals, but we are all Trojan fans, said Tim Faison, owner of Trojan Zone. It's a place everybody could come and feel comfortable. That's the unifying thread. Faison started off with nothing but a desire for a place that he and his friends could hang out. It grew into a business and accommodated the community, visitors, and Trojan students of Troy University. In April of 2017, the store closed because of a land transition, and the building now where Cookout is located, or the place, the lot where they Trojan Zone was before, was leased out by Cookout, and they offered to buy the property and asked Faison and the Trojan Zone to move out. It was a great partnership, but they made him an offer he couldn't resist, talking about the owners of the building. And now it was a great partnership, but they made it worth its while. We only had 20 days to get out, and we did. It was sad to see it go, but it opened up a new opportunity for us. So Trojan Zone prepared for the sudden halt of business, and Faison began looking immediately for another place to put his restaurant. They found a new location in the historic Troy Made Bakery building in downtown Troy. Isn't it wonderful that another great restaurant is coming to downtown Troy? For long, you're not going to be able to get a parking place on the square in downtown Troy. This is wonderful. And let me tell you, this is a great restaurant. I'm telling you, the food is outstanding. So Trojan Zone prepared for looking for another place. They found this place, the old Troy Made Bakery building, which is located right as you cross the bridge. You know, coming into downtown Troy, you look straight across. That's where the old bakery was. But they have, I think they bought more than just that building there. Let's see what happens there. Are they going to be using more than just that building? It says, when I was growing up, it was the old bakery, Faison said. My friends and I would stop by there just about every morning to get some donut holes and lemon-filled donuts on the way to school. It's taking you back into the past, but that's the way I looked at it, he said. He holds a lot of memories for the people my age and older. Faison actually purchased the whole corner. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're talking about. He got the whole corner there with not only the bakery but the other building adjacent to it, and which includes 6 buildings, he said, and he's still working on exactly how he's going to use each of the buildings. But I promise you, this is great for Troy, because I'll be honest with you, this old building was an eyesore. Now they're going to use it. They're going to turn it into a very good restaurant, and I'm sure there's some other uses that with the 6 buildings that they're purchasing, that they're going to find some good uses for all the buildings. But I'll just say this: this restaurant will fill up most every night. The food is that good. All right, so right now, some of the prominent historic corner buildings will be the restaurant, while some of the other spaces may be turned into retail locations. So Faison said he hopes to be open in the fall, the new location. Won't that be great? And won't the restaurant become a destination spot in Troy? I want it to be one of those places where when people think about Troy, they think about Trojan Zone. You have to try Trojan Zone, Faison said. Not only is the restaurant planned to reopen downtown, Faison also said he wants to consider expanding to some other Troy locations and offering some different services, including a food truck. A food truck, have you heard that? That's getting to be a big thing. And so the Faisons are looking very seriously at starting a food truck, which would sell hot dogs on the corner or wherever. That's just part of it. And sometimes they carry meals to homes and shut-ins and so forth. It's getting to be a big thing, especially in the bigger cities. We want to be able to go to the games and tailgate and go to other different areas, Faison said. Faison said he also wants to do even more to engage the community once they are back open and operating. We were so busy for the business, we never had time to work on the business, Faison said. Our approach this time is to hire good people and work more on the business. Our son is deaf, and we wanted to give him somewhere to work. We employed people with disabilities that go way back, and also working in the school system. Faison said he wants to connect the schools by participating some reading programs or school activities. Faison said the customer support drives him to bring the business back. So everybody wanted to know when they were going to bring back the Ozone. And let me tell you, their food is very good. And they are coming back and hope to be back open for business by the fall. And that will be probably the start of school. So that would be great. And the sooner the better. So now what I've done, ladies and gentlemen, I've given you 2 businesses that are coming to Troy. Jack's Hamburgers and Troy Made Bakeries building is being turned into the Trojan Zone. Trojan Zone coming back to its start downtown Troy. Now, let's look at it. Downtown Troy, we got the square. All right, I'm looking at the square across let's see if I'm right now. On the square, okay. Bird Drugs on the square. We've got our bakery, oh boy, I have the worst time sometimes with pronouncing, but the French restaurant and bakery, who they have the, I'm telling you what, they've got the best cookies. I mean, they make just fabulous cookies. They make outstanding crepes, and they have just some wonderful dishes there. And then on down on the corner, far corner, is Rumors, which is one of Troy's newest restaurants, and they're open on at noon and for lunch and supper from that location. Then Steve, help me a little bit with some of these restaurants here. What is it? The deli there. Oh boy. And then B. Graves on the corner on the square, and then we've got Sips also on the square in downtown Troy, and so that right there is Birds, the bakery, the Rumors, then the deli there at oh boy. Then B. Graves, then the Sips on the square. Then off the square, you've got a couple of restaurants there. My good buddy has a restaurant there off the square. But now with Ozone coming back, that will give us, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then if you'll consider also the folks located at the grocery store at Piggly Wiggly, if you'll consider that restaurant, then you'll have 10 restaurants in downtown Troy. How you doing?
Hey, I'm just calling back.
Mike, what I was doing, and not doing, and I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, but Mike, give me a little help here. The Trojan Zone is coming back to Troy. They have a great article in the Messenger this morning where the Trojan Zone, owned by Tim Faison, has bought the old Troy-made bakery building, Mike, and bought several adjacent buildings to go with it, and they're coming back to Troy with their restaurant. What is your opinion of Trojan Zone, and will this be a great addition to downtown Troy?
Yeah, I mean, it's really quality product. I mean, it's known for their wings, and probably the best wings I've ever had in Troy, Alabama. So, I mean, if you're a wing lover, I mean, it's really...
Well, and have you ever tried their homemade French fries, the homemade fries?
Yeah, they're hand-cut fries.
Yeah, and oh, I mean, and their chicken, their nuggets are chicken. I mean, their food is just outstanding, I think.
Well, I mean, the best thing about it was they did like the 50-cent wing nights that was really popular with college kids too. So, I mean,
oh yeah,
it was definitely a fun place to go.
Exactly.
I enjoyed it, and I'm glad they're coming back.
And he said he's going to have televisions everywhere. It'll be a great place to go watch the ball games, and he's going to have it's going to be first class. And
he teaches, and he coaches at the high school as well. I know he coaches the JV team. I don't know if he's still doing all that as well.
Well, you know, he played for Troy and was a member of that team that, and he scored several points. 258. Yeah, the 258. He scored, I think, 20 points in that game. But his brother Darren is also a great was one of Troy's all-time great basketball players. Wouldn't you say? Right from here in Troy.
He played, when did he play?
Darren played for. Darren didn't play. I don't think Darren played for Archer. He played for other guy.
Early Maestries.
Yeah, one Maestri. It was oh shoot, the coach that's Archer, Mike.
Brazil.
Brazil. Yeah, West Brazil. Was he?
I was trying to think about that the other day. I was talking to Coach Dorsey down in Luverne, and Coach Dorsey told me he played at Montevallo.
Yeah.
And,
well, you know what? He might have played for my good friend Dr. Davis, Mike.
Yeah, you know.
Leon Davis.
Leon Davis, yeah. But he said that when he played there, that they played Troy, but Maestri was the coach because Maestri started in '83.
Yeah, he was there for over 30 years.
30, yeah.
You know, you look at it. All right. Blakeney was there for right at 30 years, wouldn't you say?
No, Blakeney was there 24.
All right, or 24, 25. Maestri was there for over 30 years. Isn't that amazing?
Felix was there 31.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Mike. You got Bird Drugs on the corner. You got my bakery. What's the name of that bakery, Mike?
What, Dolce?
Yeah, Dolce. Yeah, boy. And they have great food. They have big-time food, Mike. They have the kind of food you find in New York City. And the big
you got
city.
Sips on the Square. You got
all right, you got Sips on the Square
you got
over here.
Glows.
What?
You got
Glows. That's what Ziad Rollins' restaurant Glows is just off the square. So there's
you got the new place where Milky Booze used to be.
Oh yeah, Rumors, and it's wide open now. And then
Mama Goldberg's. And
yeah, Mama Goldberg's. I'm sorry, I apologize. I couldn't come up with Mama Goldberg's, but that's a deli there that's very good.
Yeah, Mama Goldberg started in Auburn years ago, and then they expanded out.
Well, a lot of people. A lot of people. That it's tradition for them to go to Mama Goldberg's in Auburn before every game.
Yeah, it's right off campus. I definitely have been there before.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool little place.
Yeah. But we're just showing you how downtown Troy is growing with the
So I'm trying to picture in my mind the old Troy Bakery. Where is that located? Is that there?
All right, right as you come over the bridge to downtown Troy, it's the first building you see on the left over there. It's right catty-corner across on the left. It's been a clothing store, but for years and years, and I used to go by there all the time. It was a bakery. I'll tell you who it was. That owned it for many years. His son became a doctor in Eufaula. But I can't remember right off the bat. But let's go back. We got Birds on the corner, then Dolce, then the Rumors, and then Mama Goldberg's, and then B. Gray's, then Sips on the Square, and now Trojan Zone, and then Glows. All right, and right next to Glows there's I don't know if they serve food or not, but former University of Alabama lineman Mike owns that business.
Yeah, Don Ewan has a bar called Trojan Tavern.
And then down at the we got on down North 39th Street, got a pretty good restaurant. It's got some of the best steak fingers in town, doesn't it? Don't you agree?
Yeah, that's the Pig.
The Pig.
Cafe.
So if you added the Pig to all of these, you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 restaurants, maybe 10 restaurants in downtown Troy. Can you believe that?
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where, as the university grows and Troy grows, I mean, Troy's almost 20,000 people.
Yeah, I know it.
Makes sense.
And Glows, Ziad, Mike, really had a good restaurant. A lot of people really enjoyed Ziad Rollins' restaurant, Glows.
Yeah, it must be good. It's been open for a while, though.
But isn't it amazing, though, and I said something, and people might, and I'll say it again, we could start having a parking problem on the square. I mean, with that many restaurants coming in here, and it's going to, all of this is going to add to a wonderful environment in downtown Troy, Mike.
Yeah, it's one of those things where...
I mean, Tuscaloosa. Tell us about Tuscaloosa real quick.
Well, I mean, we talked about it for years, how Auburn's campus feeds into, Auburn's downtown area, and then University of Alabama's campus with the Strip feeds into Alabama's downtown area. It's just one of those things that I think would be great for a college town. It'd be great for these kids to... I wish there's something.
Oh, yeah, and like I said...
Something some sidewalk from campus that's lit up for those kids to go into downtown, but it's just a little bit further away. Well, actually, Alabama's downtown's a little bit. Well, actually, it's probably a little bit closer than Troy's is to their campus.
But you know what? We're moving that way, though, with everything coming up, by the Southside Baptist Church that way,
Yeah, you're right. I guess.
And a lot of the apartments. Look at all the apartments now, Mike. They're coming up right up to close to the square, and more. And now there are also several people that are buying or renting loft apartments in downtown Troy.
Yeah, those are pretty unique. I like those as well.
All right, you can help me with this, and I know you know a lot about it because you are a food connoisseur. They talk about having that he's very interested in doing a food truck. Are you familiar with a food truck?
Yeah, I mean, they've got those everywhere in Birmingham. I mean, Saul's Barbecue's got one. There's tons of different...
All right, well, what do? They just go to a spot and set up?
Yeah, you basically just got to get passed by the city council and the mayor's office. Basically they have to have a license to allow food trucks to set up outside of different businesses, outside of different events. I would be shocked if they don't start having more stuff like that around Troy's football games on Saturdays.
Yeah, well, all right, exactly. He mentioned that. And being more involved with tailgating, he said.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that do crawfish. I mean, Steve knows all about it.
I know. Spaceon also said he wants to consider expanding to some other Troy University locations and offering some different services, including a food truck.
Yeah, that would be good to have. It's one of those type of things, later at night is when these college kids really crave food, too.
Mike,
so,
you go to New York.
Any of those places that open, can stay open a little bit later. I'm sure they'd do really well.
You go to New York, and every night, and of course they have theater every night, and the theater, most all the theater productions are over with about 12 midnight. And all of these food trucks come out, and that's where most people get their food. They get those hot dogs and a lot of food vendors out there. And
I mean, that's what they do at the down in Seaside. It's all food trucks.
Yeah, that's right.
Winnebago trucks, and then they have a place off 98 now, closer to Rosemary, called the Hub.
I know that.
A bunch of food trucks, and basically just people will go down there and bring their kids, and they have entertainment, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I like Tim. I've known Tim a long time, and if he does something, he's going to do it right. I'll tell you that right now. And he's going to have a class operation. There's no question about it. And ladies and gentlemen, we're just excited about all these businesses coming to downtown Troy. And they're starting to light up the place at night, Mike. Even doing, not just for Christmas, but they're making it a exciting place to go. Of course, the square has all kinds of entertainment, pretty much year round. It's getting to be a wonderful place to go. It's downtown Troy, and I think this is going to enhance our community.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Sad news in the entertainment world. This just came across the wire. Anthony Bourdain of No Reservations, the famous CNN guy that does all the traveling. He's a former chef and all the rest.
Yeah, what happened to him?
Yeah, he passed away at 61. He was out in Paris doing a.
He was always eating. He was always eating these big
Well, he also did the travel and stuff like that, where he'd go into different countries and stuff like that. He's been doing it for years and years. He's on every Sunday night, but he's passed away. But tragic news, unfortunately, he took his own life. So.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, it's God. So Anthony Bourdain is dead at 61 years old.
And he committed suicide?
Yeah, his production crew found him unresponsive and apparent suicide in France.
Oh, boy.
Really hate to hear that. My wife and I recorded his show and been watching him for years.
Oh, yeah.
He was one of those type guys that you really kind of enjoyed seeing how these different countries.
And I'll tell you something about him. They say if he put his mark on some food, it was worth millions to some people.
Yeah, I mean, he traveled all over the world.
Yeah, he was a big wine guy, too, wasn't he? Wasn't he a big wine guy, too?
Well, he was a little bit of everything. But anybody that, enjoys, travel and food and stuff, you kind of, lived through him when he went to these different countries and stuff like that. I mean, he's on every Sunday night.
Yeah.
And my wife and I are really, really sad by it this morning. We really enjoyed his show.
Well, I hate
but
it.
You just don't ever know, these demons that people have inside.
Yeah. Mike, I'll tell you somebody else that we lost, and I didn't talk about it as much as I wanted to. We lost Gene Campbell, Mike. Of course, you grew up with his son. Gene was a good friend of mine out of Brantley, Alabama. Gene Campbell, hear this, Brantley and Crenshaw County and Goshen and people that knew Gene. He was one of the best athletes that ever came out of Brantley, Alabama, Mike. And of course,
I know that.
I
hate to hear that. Yeah, I went to school with Jason.
And of course, Jason's a great guy, great kid. Gene and I, though, were good friends.
Gene, valedictorian. He's extremely smart.
Yeah, Gene. He officiated football for a long time, and he got diabetes, and I'm sure that had something to do with maybe the cause of death. But he married into the Whaley family, and his Janet, his wife, wonderful girl, and his family. And let me just say this, folks in Troy that knew Gene, and I know a lot of folks in Brantley, will remember Gene in their prayers. Wonderful guy, a good friend of mine, and my prayers and my thoughts go out to the family today. And of course, we lost another good one. Mike, of course. I
was going to mention also, this is a former Troy girl that's done really well at Fairhope. Samantha Yarborough repeats as Coastal Softball Player of the Year. So that's, of course, Chad Yarborough's daughter, who had son with South Alabama. Her senior year is pretty amazing. She batted .431, 10 home runs and 43 RBIs, 54 runs scored. She was 14 of 14 in stolen bases, and this is where she's dominant on the mound. 13-2 with a 1.12 ERA and 124 strikeouts. So,
well, she's one of the best.
She's a phenom.
Yeah, you know what she is a franchise. I mean, South Alabama will become a top 10 team because of her. You pitch her. Softball players could pitch forever. You know what I mean? I don't think they have a pitch limit, do they?
Oh no, they could pitch as long as.
And this girl could win 5 games in a row.
I mean, I just don't know how in the world that Alabama and Auburn had come in and sweep her up.
Well, I'll tell you what it was. Of course, he worked at the bank here. Her dad, was a Troy graduate, played football at Troy, and I knew him very well. And
well, everybody knows him well. He lived in Troy for years.
Yeah, but one of the problems was he got involved with South Alabama, and they just got in. South Alabama started paying them all this attention and going ahead and getting a commitment from them. They committed her when she was in 9th grade.
10th grade.
9th or 10th grade, she committed. So, it's a full scholarship, and I'm sure the parents are going to support anybody that's willing to educate their children free for them, And, of course, South Alabama's a good school. And
we're fortunate. We can watch her pitch, I'm sure, throughout the rest of her career at Troy. She'll play Troy several times.
Some other things, Mike. We've got some kickoff dates and times for kickoffs.
Will you try to watch history and see if Justified wins the Triple Crown this weekend?
Oh, that is important. I'm glad you told me that. Tell us about that, Mike. Coffee.
It's basically, if he wins the Belmont Stakes, he'll win the Triple Crown. Of course, we saw a Triple Crown with American Pharoah in 2015. Before that, it was 37 years since there had been a Triple Crown. Right. So, Bob Baffert, who's the greatest owner.
Mike, you've been hanging around Blake Crow too long.
What, about horse racing?
Yeah.
Yeah, Blake's owner of his company, South Pace Properties, does.
Yeah, he's a big horse racing guy. Yeah.
Yeah, they're big in the horse
They
racing.
say once you get into that, thank you, Scott. Scott's from out here in Oregon, and his Mike, when we were rooting for Hank Aaron, he was rooting for Prefontaine.
Yeah.
The runner, you know, people out in Oregon.
Yeah.
Well, you were down there. I want you to hear this.
I lived out in Portland, Oregon for 5 months.
But you heard the word Prefontaine all the time out there, didn't you? Prefontaine Boulevard, the streets are named after him.
I went to Eugene and saw the campus. It's beautiful there.
Yeah.
Eugene's.
Is that where you were from, Eugene, and where? Scott here, and the words for us, Mike, is from Eugene.
Yeah, it's beautiful out there. I told several friends, you know, when I traveled out in Oregon and Washington State, you literally almost had to stop the car every 5 minutes because something was so beautiful you'd want to take a picture of it.
Yeah.
It's just that beautiful country.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, we're talking about big trees, aren't we? We just think we have big trees right here. Is that right?
Yeah, big evergreen trees. Mount Hood on a real clear,
You ever
pretty
been
day.
to Mount Hood? All right, now what did you say, Mike?
On a clear, pretty day from Portland, Oregon, you can see Mount Hood off in the distance. But then when you would drive up to Seattle, which I did every once in a while, Mount Rainier is almost 15,000 feet.
Yeah.
And you talk about a massive mountain.
Yeah.
I mean, all
You
of
know, what if it erupts like the volcano in Hawaii? Wouldn't that be tough?
Yeah, you know, Mount Hood's a volcano. Of course, Mount St. Helens has already erupted on the way to Seattle. Then you got Mount Rainier, and then you got Mount Adams, which is close to 13,000 foot, which is right on the Oregon-Washington line, right along the Columbia River there. So,
you went in and saw Portland play basketball some too, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw Portland play twice, two or three times. But one time, the best story ever, I got basically almost courtside tickets. I got late. I was trying to get there, and I took the train in, and I met a guy outside. He's just like, do you need tickets? I said, yeah, I need tickets. The only thing I got is right behind the Lakers bench. I was a huge Robert Horry fan, you know, from Andalusia. That's when Horry and Kobe Bryant won 3 state championships. And sure enough, the guy, he said, man, well, what do you got? I said, man, because the game had just started, and I said, man, I got like $40. And he gave me those tickets, and I was literally almost I guess 3 rows from the bench, some of the best seats you'll ever see.
Yeah.
Watching Portland and the Lakers play.
Yeah, no question about it. Of course, we're talking everything this morning, and you know the Triple Crown is what time? 4:00 tomorrow afternoon. What time are they going to do that?
Yeah, it's usually later in the day. Usually around 3 or 4.
And you know, out of all the sporting events, Mike, and correct me if I'm wrong here. Out of all the sporting events, there will be more millionaires and billionaires at that event than any other sporting event anywhere. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, there's
that's where
people from all over the world. You got a lot of Saudi Arabians that own horses.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah, that's where the rich folks
It'll be
gather.
at 4:37 tomorrow.
What? 4:37?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, that's great to know. And ladies and gentlemen, how many Triple Crown winners have there been, Mike? Nashua was a Triple Crown winner, wasn't he?
Well, I mean, the last one was American Pharoah. Before that, it was Secretariat.
Yeah.
I think
that's right.
Big news for the Patriots. Their top receiver, Julian Edelman, has tested positive for PED, so he'll be suspended for the first 4 games.
Oh, no. You mean he smoked or took drugs?
Well, I mean, it's like performance enhancement.
All right.
Steroids.
All right, now got to hit this real hard. Florida and Auburn in the best of 3, Mike, in the Super. Now, if Auburn wins this, they go to the College World Series.
Yeah, they go to Omaha.
Auburn's going to throw Casey Mize 10-5 with a 2.95 ERA. I wonder if he pitched against Troy. Brady Singer.
He's their number 1 guy.
Yeah.
He's the number 1 pick of the
Yeah,
draft.
Brady Singer he's an All-American for Florida. He was 11-1 with a 2.2. So those are 2 great pitchers. And that game will be televised tonight. So you want to see a good baseball game. It'll be Florida and Auburn and might this be huge for Auburn? I thought now, and I'm not don't want to be touching on anybody's toes here from Auburn fans. I thought Troy was as good or better than Auburn in baseball.
Well,
when I went to watch them play, now you're right. The pitching, they might not have thrown their best pitcher, but neither did Troy.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where Troy lost to them by 1 in Auburn, and then Troy beat them by 4 in Troy. So Troy had a great baseball team.
Troy's got a great that's what I had. People say, "Oh, Troy playing Duke." Golly, Troy played Duke. Troy played Texas. Troy played Oklahoma State. They'll play anybody.
Well, it's just when Troy beat Duke 6-0, and then when Troy got up 4-0 in that second game against Boston, Troy was just the superior team. And then once you fall out, run out of pitching, it's all over.
Mike C.M. Newton was 211 and 123 at Alabama over 12 years at Alabama. His top assistant was Winfred Sanderson.
Yeah, Wimp was at Alabama for 30 years. I think 16 or maybe 18 as an assistant and 12 as a head coach.
Yeah.
So.
And then he was at Vanderbilt for 8 years. Did you know that?
Yeah, C.M. Newton went to Vanderbilt, then he became athletic director at Kentucky.
Yeah, no question about it.
Big Alabama football news. In 2023, Alabama will host Mid-American Conference. Central Michigan will be coming to Tuscaloosa.
Oh,
what another great game.
And Alabama State.
What in the world? A lot of people, why do we have to watch MAC teams come to Tuscaloosa? I swear that they waste their time.
And Alabama State comes to Auburn, Mike. Alabama State against Auburn this year.
State.
Huh?
That's great for Alabama State.
Oh, yeah, I'm proud. And I wish they'd throw Troy a bone. Of course, Troy goes to Nebraska for the 3rd time. I'm going to make a prediction here, Mike. I'm going to stun you. Troy's going to beat Nebraska.
Well, that's been, we've had calls in Birmingham on different radio shows mentioning that game as well. So, especially after what Troy did, beating LSU on the road last year, and you're starting a program. You got to get a bunch of guys to buy into what you believe. And Scott Frost, and he'll probably run a lot of guys off that, are not players there, and we'll try to rebuild it. They should struggle their first year. Not many first-year coaches do well.
Do you know that Auburn coach?
All you got to remember is Nick Saban's first year at Alabama, there was a team called Louisiana Monroe.
That's right. They beat them. You're right. Mike, can you believe Auburn baseball coach Butch Thompson is a candidate for the Mississippi State job? Where would you?
He coached there.
Oh, okay. Where would you rather coach, Mississippi State or Auburn? Who's got the best program?
Oh, Mississippi State over the years, no doubt. It's a baseball school.
Yeah, no, Michael.
Mississippi State just built a $61 million brand new baseball field.
I heard they did.
And then I've been over there. My wife's a Mississippi State grad, so we used to go. Well, for 4 years, we went to Alabama Mississippi State game over there. And Rafael Palmeiro has built the Palmeiro City Center.
And Will Clark too.
Baseball facilities ever. Yeah.
They had Thigpen, Brantley, Will Clark, and Rafael on the same team.
Yeah, it still didn't win it.
Yeah. Mike, tell me, who in the world is this? Seamus Power shot a 65 yesterday to lead the St. Jude Classic.
Irishman, but Nicholson's one shot back. He shot 4 under.
Have you ever heard of Seamus Power before?
He plays the European tour.
Nicholson did shoot 66. That's great.
Yeah, Bruce Koepka shot 66 too. That's a tournament that I wish I could go to every once in a while. I was up in Memphis.
Yeah.
It's just right up the road. Since they built the 222 corridor, it's a really easy drive from Birmingham to Memphis. It's straight interstate now.
Mike, we've got to go, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you have a great weekend. It's going to be hot, but it's going to be very conducive for outdoor activity. Hope that you'll come be a part of this show at 1:30. We come on back on it at 1:30. Hope you enjoy it. And, of course, again, we'll see you Monday morning, bright and early, for Today in L.A. That's Lower Alabama.